Hey, what's going on everyone? Hope you are all doing well. This is Yoked Side Up with another Menace video, the 13th in a series where I casually discuss everything you need to know about squad leaders, specifically their stats, perks, where I think they stand at all points of the game, builds, all that good stuff. That being said, we are going to be talking about our last pilot for the game, a 1-star infantry pilot named Ivory Isom. A fantastic 1-star pilot, if I'm going to be honest. I know I haven't used her, these are her base stats, but I experimented with her just a little bit and I was really impressed, and I'm definitely going to use her more. She has a supply cost of 10, a growth potential of 6, which is really good for a 1-star, right? She's going to bump these up pretty quickly the more I use her, and a promotion tax of 5. So very cheap to deploy pilot wise, and very cheap to put perk points into and field, right? Just an excellent pilot. Accuracy isn't so great, but she starts with 90 action points, which is pretty big. Good discipline, no critical hit chance, but has a minus 10% defense, which is fine, right? Especially with what her perk tree allows her to do. So her thing is 0 in, minimum 30% chance to hit. Now this actually doesn't come up very often, and this can honestly be ignored. There isn't that many situations where a minimum 30% chance to hit comes in. Now with her, with a base of 60 accuracy, in the like when you first start using her, this may come in more often than I actually think, just because of her low accuracy. But the higher the her accuracy gets, the less this comes into play. So can honestly be ignored, but this isn't what makes her very good. She is kitted out to be a heavy weapon vehicle user that is just good at killing things, and I like squad leaders that are good at killing things. So expert pilot, right? Minus 50% AP vehicle turns, always good, right? Just gives you more AP to move around and maneuver. Tank buster, very good, especially if you're going to be using her with heavy weapons. Just excellent, right? Much more killing power against vehicles. Just awesome perk. Shoot and scoot, the kind of opposite of Rua's, what is it called? Drive-by, right? Just you shoot and then you have cheaper movement, which can be interesting, right? But I think is a little bit less applicable than minus 10 AP to shooting a gun after moving, right? Just a little bit less useful in my opinion. Bags and belts, always good on vehicle pilots, right? Because there just are so many good accessories for vehicles. Zigzag, 5% defense, can be good, right? Vehicles are always moving. Fragmentation, okay, but not what I would recommend for Isom, especially if you're going to use a heavy weapon, and there's better options than the mortar, right? Long barrel tin gun. So fragmentation, not that great. Standby, not that great, right? Yeah, you should be aggressive. Demolitions expert, don't take this. It's a waste of a perk, because she has just so many better options, and this doesn't really come up too often, right? Steady gun, plus 25% accuracy and plus 1 V range when stationary for at least one turn. She's going to be shooting a lot, and she's going to be stationary sometimes, right? Better in defense missions than standby, right? Because this just gives you plus 25% accuracy, and with a accuracy base of 60, this really allows her to hit targets more often. Call out a target. Mark a target within 10 tiles, gain plus 20% accuracy against it for 2 turns. Good for her when she has 60 accuracy, right? Even better for her because of her unique perk called Directed Fire, plus 20% accuracy and plus 20% damage versus marked targets. So she gets a fat plus 40% accuracy boost from call out target. Now again, she doesn't have to be the one to call them out, right? Someone else like Pike can use call out target and enable her to get plus 40% accuracy, which with an accuracy of 60 is massive, right? It's huge. And plus 20% damage, which is always nice. And when combined with Tank Buster, plus 25% damage against vehicles, with a long barrel tank gun, she is dishing out plus 45% damage against marked vehicles. Very strong. 2 shreds plus 1 light defect for each defect inflicted. not that great with her, especially if you're using her with a long barrel tank gun, right? You're going to be dealing so much damage. They're just going to instantly waver or just die, right? Especially if you're using Tank Buster with directed fire combination. Just very, very strong. And she'll more likely just like one-shot things. The only thing that this will come into play with is heavy rogue army tanks, right? But yeah, so not that useful for Isom here, who is just a heavy weapon god. So barrage, minus 10 AP cost for heavy weapons. This is flat. There is no stipulation. The only thing is that it's a heavy weapon, right? Which is long barrel tank gun or the mortar, right? Everything else is medium or light. But long barrel tank gun is the best vehicle weapon in the game versus vehicles, right? Just unrivaled in its accuracy, in its damage, in its range, right? It is just so good, and getting a minus 10 AP cost is massive. This thing normally costs 60 AP to shoot, so with this, 50 AP, right? With full send, right? Minus 10 AP for hardware use for consecutive usage. Her first shot's gonna cost 50. Her second shot is gonna cost 40, because these two stack, right? So 40 AP to shoot a long barrel tank gun is a steal. What that means is, with a base of 90 action points, she can shoot this long barrel tank gun twice just starting out if she doesn't move, right? Which is absolutely disgusting. Give her marked target, give her directed fire, give her steady gun, and she is just an absolute killing machine with a long barrel tank gun. I don't know why I didn't look at her earlier, but because this is all I use. This is almost the exact setup I use for every single time I bring a IFE, long barrel tank gun, MMG, or plasma rifle, or grenade launcher, right? Just doesn't really matter. Ammo boxes, advanced sensors, armor depending on who I'm fighting, right? And this just destroys everything in the game. Vehicles are not a threat, because you're just blasting them in the Kingdom Come with Isom's barrage, full send, can take out 2 light walkers, or, you know, 2 heavy walkers in a single turn. Just absolutely disgusting. And this is her base, right? Like, she's not even upgraded at all in terms of stats, and she's only going to get better. So I'm definitely going to use her a lot more, because her perk selection is just disgusting. Yeah, in terms of builds, I would go with exactly what I have picked out here. Expert Pilot for more AP, right? Tank Buster for increased damage. Bags and Belts for increased accessory slots. Steady Gun for that plus 25% accuracy and V range, right? Because her V range is 9 right now, bump that up to 10. She can pretty much almost make full use of this long barreled tank gun. So very, very good. Directed fire for that plus 20% accuracy and plus 20% damage versus marked targets, right? And then I'll just give like I'll just give Pike, like, you know, call out target, and then just go ham with these give her barrage, give her full send. These two are absolutely mandatory. If we to go bare minimum, Tank Buster, Expert Pilot. Once you get the accessories, ditch Expert Pilot for Bags and Belts, and then you need one more, Directed Fire, and then Barrage and Full Send, in that order. Because this is just more useful, right? This applies every time. This is only after your second shot, so, or after your first shot. So definitely pick up Barrage first, and then Steady Gun when you can. But yeah, very, very, very good long barreled tank gun user, and I'm definitely going to use her more. Yeah, just because this is disgusting. Better than Rua at using a long barreled tank gun, because Rua with Berserk, her cheapest way to shoot a long barreled tank gun is by moving and then shooting, right? So move for however much AP, shooting for 50 AP, and then get Berserk. She's able to use a long barreled tank gun with the stipulation that she has destroyed something this turn, right? Because moving, shooting, that's probably going to be like 70, 60 something AP. she's not going to be able to shoot a second time unless she activates Berserk. So honestly, Isom better than Rua with using a long-barreled tank gun because she has the AP economy to do so, even though she doesn't get any back, right, like Rua does. But she makes up for that with the minus 10 AP cost, right? It just makes it cheaper to shoot it in general. For a total of minus 30 if you shoot it twice in a round, which is just really, really big, and honestly really impressive for a 1-star pilot. Nothing but good things to say about her, and I would definitely be using her more. So if you are looking to pick up a 1-star pilot who is good at an anti-vehicle role, Isom is your gal. She is gonna be the best pilot in the game for that long-barreled tank gun, and yeah, you will just see her punch holes and everything and just be an absolute beast. We'll definitely be using her more. That's pretty much all I have to say with Isom and our last pilot for Menace. Just a very, very solid perk selection. Just disgusting with what she is capable of with a long-barreled tank gun, and pretty decent stats. Poor accuracy, but comes with the perks to make up for it, right? With steady gun and directed fire. Just a very, very solid, well-rounded character that is able to cover her own weaknesses. That being said, if you like this content, go ahead and drop a like. If you want to see more, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. We have 3 more squad leaders before this series is over. And who knows, maybe I will talk about guns next time. Make a tier list, I don't know. But for now, that is all I have to say. Thank you for sticking around. And until next time, take care.